Howdy fellow adventurers, backwaters and backroads here, obviously. I'm going to paint the Lost Nomad. I'm a little nervous. I've never done anything like this. I'm pestering a couple people who are really good at this kind of stuff, and they're taking my calls and they're taking my texts, kind of like it when I was sighting the Beagle Barge. So you can see how having a channel can have some fringe benefits, right? So you just get to know people, and you know, so someone in particular who's really good at this, I'll let them decide if they want to be known who it is. Not everyone likes to have attention drawn to them, but I was just about to basically clean this up and start putting paint on it, and he was like, whoa, 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 you got to get all the primer off of it, all the gray. So I went ahead and bought an orbital sander, and I got some 80 grit sandpaper, got a little mask, and I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to try to bring it down to what he says is the gel coat. I believe him. I'll show you a picture of one of the boats he's painted, one of the Nimbles, and you know, so it's not it's a matter of how good I want to do it. But when he started talking about how the paint will flake off if I don't do it right, well then it goes into a whole other territory of not doing it right? So I want the paint to at least stick and stay on there. So anyways, enough rambling. I'll turn the phone around and I will just start showing you guys what it's like for just someone who's never done anything like this before to do it. Maybe it'll help someone down the road. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm just going to catch everybody up here really quick. I picked this boat up in Florida last winter, and it is quite the project. It's the biggest, you know, as in work to be done Nomad I think I've ever seen, though I'm sure there's some out there by this point that, you know, have needed work and so forth. But this one, the owner got into it, and he died about 7 years ago, and he had the whole you know, ready to paint, prepped to paint, which is actually, you know, working in my favor. I got the real, you know, jade green. Just happens to be one of my favorite colors. You know, I have no problem changing a Nomad to a different color, but honestly, I've always felt like the Nimbles, you know, the company Nimble, just picked the perfect color scheme for these boats. That beige cream on top, and then that beautiful jade green on the bottom. And I love it, and I would have picked that even if all of these came in a different color. I know there's a couple of oddball, you know, what do they call them, like the albinos out there, the all white, and I think that looks pretty good too. So, but we're going with jade, original color. And what else can I say about this other than just get started? I'm gonna crawl up inside, pull the paint down, start doing some shaking and prepping, and I'll put the phone down for a minute, and I'll just check in with you periodically as it goes. Let me show you what kind of tools and stuff I had to... Let me show you the tools and stuff that I had to buy to do this job. How did people wear these for 2 years? How are people still wearing them to this day? I have no idea. So I didn't have a Palm orbital sander. Got this one at Menards. It was on sale for a really good price. Maybe if you head over there this month, you might find some. It's a Skill is the brand. And got the Velcro attach 80 grit round sandpapers. This is the paint we're going to use. This is, I think, the paint that actually Nimble used back in the day when they painted them, or something very, very similar. I got an enhancer. I got to learn how to, you know, what the ratios are on mixing these two when we get to that point, tomorrow probably. Mohair mini rollers, 4-inch. Got a roller. I didn't need that brush. I need to get a foam brush. Got some masking tape and my hands, and yeah, I'm glad I'm going through this. I almost just went and painted it today, just like it was. And I probably would have regretted it. I'm glad I called the fella with the Nimble that is really good at this stuff, and he turned me back from the brink and convinced me to do it this way. It didn't take much convincing. I just needed to. Everyone needs help. I do everything by myself, and you know how it goes when you don't have any help, you know. This side is actually going to be a lot easier because there's just a lot less paint on it. I think before the fella died, you know, that was trying to refurbish this boat, you know, he probably got this side done right before he died, is my guess, or right before he quit. And there's not nearly as much paint left on this side. So yeah, this is, and I probably mentioned this in this video already, but I'll mention it again. This appears to be a very odd Nomad in that it has the same color gel coat that the top half, that all of them have, that the top half, that cream color, is also the gel coat for the bottom. So it's basically a white or a cream colored Nomad before the paint is applied. Now my theory on this is, so I'll just, you know, the folks that are on the group, the Facebook group, you guys already know this, but you know, I have a lot more viewers than just the folks on the Facebook group. There's like roughly 140 something of these ever built, the Nomad model, and most of them are accounted for. Most people, you know, most of them are, we know where they are. You know, we know that there's a really nice lady that runs the Facebook group that also, you know, keeps a record of who owns which one, and it's all but, I'm just taking a guess here, but all but like 5 or 6 of them are actually accounted for. Well, this happens to be one of the Lost Nomads that was not accounted for. I sent the whole number to the nice lady on the Facebook group, and she did some research, and she found out that it was one of the ones that kind of went missing, you know, a while back. And it you know, it makes sense because of how long it's been kind of out of circulation and just sitting behind a fence somewhere, you know. So it's kind of interesting. It's, you know, where I came up with the name, the Lost Nomad. I think the first boat I've ever named that doesn't have Beagle in the title. Probably to everybody's relief. I've run out of Beagle variations. So, and I think I've decided I'm going to keep this boat, at least for a while. Let me turn the phone around. I want to talk to you about something else, some future possibilities. I don't know what just happened. My phone is turned off for some reason, but I'll continue. When I go to Isle Royale, it's about an 80-mile crossing from Ontonagon to the middle of the island. And going from the Bahamas, as far as I understand, is around 50 miles. It's less. So it might be going over more treacherous water, you know, the actual ocean and the currents and such. But Lake Superior can be a formidable foe as well. So I kind of feel like if I can do, you know, the open water crossing over to Isle Royale, I can brave heading to the Bahamas. So I'll do a whole lot more research before, you know, that happens. Of course, we've got plenty of time, but that's just kind of my dream for this boat. You know, I always have to have a plan and kind of a thing to motivate me to continue. I don't really need another boat. I don't really need this boat. I bought it because it was cheap and I just can't resist them. You know, I love Nimbles and I love boats like them, and I got it cheap enough that it's worth it to, you know, and it's a good boat to learn on. I've never painted a hull, and I think this is going to turn out really good. Of course, we'll find out by the time this series is done. But at any rate, if you got any opinions on anything I just said, you know, please comment below, and I guess I'll continue on. So continue to stay tuned. You know, just while I have some footage rolling, I don't think I've shown you guys this yet. So you might, anyone that's paying, you know, any attention from when I first picked this up last winter, I originally put a Johnson 4-stroke, a 40 horse on it. I picked up, you know, pretty cheap off of Facebook. And it a Johnson 4-stroke is just a Suzuki, and it, you know, a good motor. I mean, a good match for this boat, but it had some issues with the controls. You know, they were weather exposed for many years and had a few ground issues, and I just would never quite feel comfortable doing any sort of offshore type of boating with that motor unless I used it a lot and really learned to trust it. Well, just as God often does in my life, he just acts and takes care of me and gives me breaks and, you know, all that good stuff. And my neighbor just repowered his fishing boat, and he's a bit of a meticulous perfectionist type of guy, and he pulled this 50 off. It has 100 hours on it. It's a 2003. It is carbureted, but you know, that's okay. I mean, I would prefer an EFI, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. And I got it for just an amazing price. I mean, these mid-range 4-strokes are just really hard to find used these days in the past few years. And this was just such a windfall, lucky break. So I bought it from him, and I brought it over here on a trailer. I mounted it last time I was here. I still need to get a few parts, like a grommet and a couple of, you know, controls, mounting brackets for the controls and such, which I think the people that pulled it off, you know, didn't save or lost or something, which is kind of annoying, but at any rate, we'll find them eventually. So yeah, 2003 Honda 50 horse 4-stroke with about 100 hours on it. Just the perfect motor for this boat. So we're wrapping up the day here, and I think I got the side just to show you. I mean, folks know this, but I'll just point it out. This anything below here is going to be bottom paint, so I'm not even messing with that. I'm just going to here. I do have to come in here with an X-Acto knife and get off some of this paint. I'm sorry, some of this with the masking tape. Huh. Neighbor's dogs here. Wavey's inside, sorry. So yeah, I got all the paint off, and I went over it again with really long strokes to kind of, you know, just even out any sort of sanding I've done. I don't know how much, you know, good that does at the end of the day. I mean, this is the first time I've ever done this, but I have sanded things before, and it, you know, kind of makes sense to just like do some broad sweeps, you know, gentle broad sweeps to kind of knock off any edges, you know. But oh, you know, I think so. Tomorrow morning, as long as the weather's holding, I'm going to come out and I'm going to blow it off with compressed air, and then I'm going to use alcohol and clean it up really good, and then we will paint. I'm nervous, so you guys should tune into the next episode of The Lost Nomad. Thanks for watching, guys.
Oh, hi, my name is Wavy Gravy, star of the channel. Brenton's expecting me to live on this boat for like long periods of time next winter. We're supposed to go to like the Bahamas and cross like oceans with it, and all I want to know is, does it have enough room to carry treats? Where are the treats going to go? Is there like a place to put it up front? Is there a place in back? I better just start looking around, because we're going to have to carry a whole lot of treats if we go to the Bahamas. So, thanks!